My good people, we are back.
Yes, sir.
Life and Times of Troy and Hendricks. As we always said, when we coming into this thing, we had to do it again.
We had to do it again.
It's
Four
been,
months?
hey man,
4 months.
rest well needed.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, um, I would say it wasn't because we didn't want to be here, but we had to get some things in order. When you are doing a podcast, you're trying to, present something.
Absolutely.
If you do it, you got to do it right. You can't half-ass it. You got to have the right mental.
Gotta have the right energy.
And I just think we're in a good place now. Our work schedule has got better balance. You talk about being in the right place.
Yeah.
Before I went on vacation, I was feeling like, I was on a hamster wheel, just kind of like in some, just standing still,
Mm,
quicksand. You know what I'm saying? Mostly just staying in place.
right.
And I'm in a good space now. So I'm ready. I'm
Uh,
ready. I
not to,
feel good.
not to get too deep, especially starting out, but a couple years ago, I read a book called "The Way of a Superior Man." I read it because I heard a interview on the Breakfast Club by Nipsey Hussle. And, in that book, it talks about like how the insecurities of a man kind of can just take him in whichever way. And really, since I would say since like the end of last year, like around, like October, November, like when you don't have everything kind of, when you're not grounded, what I'm saying, in your life, your insecurities kind of, they give way and they'll just have you kind of running wild. So I think with this time off, I was more so just able to get grounded and have a good, real understanding of who I am. Like all my hashtags now, I put like I'm here now, and I just feel like that's me being unapologetic with who I am, flaws and all. Fuck it, I
Yeah.
am who I am,
You
and
just
I'm here
said
now.
something. It's weird because it's making me reference a conversation my wife had earlier. And sometimes we deal basically insecurity. How do we deal with that? What's the best way to address that? And I'm just asking, I don't know. I don't have a broad, but it's like insecurities are basically things that we're feeling,
Right.
that we're projecting on others and that we feel about ourselves. So how do we correct that then? How do we fill that gap? What's the steps to change that so we don't feel that way?
I'm
Because
glad.
it's obviously something we're missing.
I'm glad that you said steps because I think that for me on this journey that I've been taking, the first thing that you got to do, and it's dangerous, but you got to, I don't want to say get in tune with you, but you have to get that alone time. You have to really give yourself that alone time wherever it's at. If it's at a gym, if it's if it's at your job. At my job, I have a quiet space. We got a chaplain room, but you have to give yourself that alone time residually so that you can really get in the clear thought. You most of the time when we're dealing with things, it's a lot of stuff coming at us, and our judgment is very cloudy. But when you give yourself that quiet time, that place of refuge, and you get to really get in that head of yours, if you're somewhat sane, your problems, your issues are going to become clear in that quiet space, and you can then start addressing them. But you got to get into a quiet place. Most people don't want to get into that place. They're used to, like me, I've, always had you. A lot of my struggles is not really being able to be alone,
Hmm.
but once you get in that quiet place, like I'm in the gym 5 days a week. I'm on the jump rope 15 minutes a day, five days a week. I'm hitting the bag. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing these things by myself, and I'm in my head really figuring these things out.
I'm gonna reference my good brother Baxter, and
Yes,
I'm gonna say
sir.
I'm gonna challenge you on the point. I'm gonna push back on the point. One, the first thing you did say is absolutely true. It starts with you
Right.
because we are the one that projecting. So if it's something wrong with you, it's easy to complain.
Right.
Pardon I cuss people. It's easy to bitch. You get what I'm saying?
Talk.
Because we're talking about what I don't like. I don't got enough money. All right, what we gonna do to do that? I'm out of shape. What I'm gonna do to do that?
Right.
What I'm gonna do to fix that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then you talked about being alone. We also can't be afraid to talk to others, reach out. Because if you realize that we all are dealing with the same exact things,
Yes, sir.
we do not have to be so, you know, dealing with autonomy when we have these problems because we all are having the same issues and struggles. Look, we in our early 30s, approaching our mid. We know we got people that's dealing with our same struggles,
Right.
having our same outlooks on. We're parents. That's a commonality there. We're trying to project, move forward in our career. We're trying to build wealth. So it's things that we're all going to think about. People look at me, they're like, "Oh, you got this." I was on vacation talking to my wife about how sometimes I feel like it's all on me and
Mm.
I got to push, because I was like, man, I can't miss a day. So I'm going to work overtime. I'm going to do that. And, she had to tell me, no, you don't.
Wow.
So just by me talking to her, that gave me that reassurance. And you don't know if you don't talk, if you don't speak up.
Right.
So, you know, going back to what we started with, we had to get ourselves right. We had to be in the right place because we want to be able to give good content. We don't want to just be out here, you know, just throwing anything out. And I think it did kind of get like that for a while. We had like at least 5, 6 pods that
That
didn't
was
go
just
through.
like,
But it's like, all right, well, let's find something to talk about. What,
wow.
what, what you want to talk about? You get what I'm saying? But this is what it's about. And this is why I said I wanted to do the pod. Of course, we're going to get into, what's going on in pop culture,
Right.
NBA finals and all
Facts.
that. But I
That's real.
wanted to be real guys, real people having real conversations. And that's what we need to get to.
I'm trying to make. Okay. All right. My fault.
You good?
But no, I I love what you're saying. Of course, for me, it's been about having the right energy,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel that, man. Yeah, this might be a pod. We trying to have a decent setup, but at the end of the day, when we doing shit like this is when we at our best, just kicking it,
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we finally getting to this. Fuck the scripts. We just gonna be.
Yeah,
We
we just
just gonna
gotta
do
be
us.
us, man. You
Yeah.
gotta be us, and that's what it's about. Like, it's weird. Some of the best times I've been having over this past few weeks. Definitely hanging with you. We went to the hookah bar, watched the game.
Yeah.
Um, Hanging with family. Our cousin came in town.
Oh man.
My wife had a Bridgerton party. Like, this is what it's all
Buck
about. I
graduated.
travel. Yeah, it's all about the people in your life and who you have around you.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes too, I see people that struggle is you don't have a good base around you.
Yep.
I got people that I can fall on and lean on. And then two, if they falling, I can lift them up as well.
Gotta have systems and outlets in place
Mm-hmm.
for, like,
Yeah.
I mean, what our job, not
Yeah.
not to get too much into it, but
Yeah.
containment
Yeah.
and reactions. When things go wrong, you have to have things or people in place, your safety nets in place that's gonna catch you.
They always ask us, and I laugh. I don't want to get too much into work too, but stuff mess up. When shit break down, stuff go wrong, containment issue, quality issue.
Hmm.
First thing they say is, okay, so what's the process?
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? What's the containment plan? What's the action plan? You know, Contain, take action. You get what I'm saying? Escalate. You get what I'm saying?
That's from a work perspective, but
It's a
even if
life
we but
perspective,
even if we
bro.
want to make it even if we want to make it biblical, even Jesus had 12 disciples around him.
Yeah.
Even Jesus, I mean, this is the person that, you know, Christianity is made by. Even he had enough sense to make sure, let me have some people around me that know that they're not all the way me, but they got like minds and like attainments. Just I need that for me. Even Jesus had that
But
enough
then
for
I'm
him.
gonna even take it even further, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be the last, we use with the colloquialisms and the examples. But what your frat say?
Friendship is essential to the soul.
So basically, we can't do anything without people, without each other.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? You need others. It starts with you because you need that self love. You got to put yourself and be a self starter. So you started the process. You realize you wasn't right.
Right.
You start getting in the gym. You got your mental right. You focused. Once you do that, and then you feel good. Now it's time for me to reach out to others, and then we bring you home.
Yep.
Everybody need to follow that plan, but we all out here not doing that. We trying to battle the world by ourselves, and the crazy part was it was never designed to be that way.
Mm. Man, let's get to it, man.
Let's get to it, man.
Let's move. We're gonna start it off, man. Let's kind of pick up the tempo a little bit.
Oh yeah, let's get it going. You know that's deep. We gonna break them parts up, but we had to talk to y'all. But man, it's a lot going on, man.
So let's get to it, man. We watched it last night, man. Game 5.
Yes, sir.
I personally said that the first team that wins 2 games in a row is going to win the series. I also said that the Golden State Warriors had to win Game 4 and they had to win Game 5.
Yeah, definitely.
And they did that.
Yeah.
This is your team, man. You've been rolling with them for a long time, ever since, this has been your team. So I'm going to let you go ahead and do your thing right now. Y'all finally up 3-2. How you feeling? Give me your recap about the game last night versus Celtics.
Man, it's a sigh of relief. Like, I won't lie, I talk my shit. I was happy. But a lot of this is when I'm doing that, for Warriors fans, we're doing this because of the past 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You lose in the final, so you get clowned for that.
It's for the brothers up north.
You missed the playoffs. So you hearing all the jokes and me. So people thought I was crazy because I was still saying before the beginning of the season, I said the Warriors would be in the finals. Now I thought Warriors and Nets.
Man,
that didn't work out. And I thought possibly Warriors Bucks. That didn't work out. So, but it's just good to be on this stage. And one reason why this is more enjoyable is you really feel like it's earned.
Yeah.
I was spoiled during those Durant years. There was just no question they were going to win. And seeing them triumph, work hard, dig out of a hole. Look, as bad as Boston is playing, and we're going to get into it, and the flaws they have, every game Golden State is having to grind it out. Besides that blowout in game 2, nothing has been easy. So I just say it's just good to know that we're in the position that, I don't want to go 7, but if you do lose, it's not over. Because it was just losing that first game, man. You was just always behind the 8 ball.
Let me ask you a question, man. Did Steph, did he have a 3 last night?
No, he didn't have a 3. But I think that's the beauty of the Warriors,
Did Steph have 20 points last night?
No, he didn't.
Now we definitely gonna cut the beat off for this guy right here, man. This guy was averaging 4 points, 5 rebounds, and maybe 2 assists going into game 5. And yeah, on the stat sheet, it was only 8, 8, and 6. But that 8, 8, and 6 was really 15, 8, and
you don't.
8. And you can't put it.
Polarizing, man.
He's polarizing, man.
You can't judge Draymond. So this is what makes me, he gets a lot of hate.
Right.
You can look at Rodman and praise him for going out for 0 points. Now he's grabbing 22 rebounds and all that stuff. But as good of a defender he was,
he didn't have an impact.
I'm not saying he didn't have an impact. I'm just saying Bulls Rodman wasn't doing what Draymond's doing. Having the guard on the perimeter, switch out. His role was just to rebound, and he did it great.
He went it was a couple. Real talk. He just it was his pastor. I used to go to his church, but he used to say that Draymond is going to be able to say that he was one of the smartest basketball players. He's turning into a savant, especially defensively. He made it real simple. He took this guy's weakness. He made this guy go to his weakness. And it was just like he was reading everything. His hand, the way he played the passing lane was amazing last night.
It overall,
the passes
my bad,
that he made, the touch that he had for some of the passes that he made. Him and GP were dude, you would have thought those two have known each other their whole lives. They were playing out there like they were me and you. Some of the passes that they were making, how in sync those two people were. Man, Draymond really he earned his money last night.
But it's the team. And
Yeah.
that's why I like the Warriors. If you just look at how they were built and how they constructed, all of these guys were somewhat passed over, looked over.
Yeah.
Now the media doesn't like them because as they became good, they went from lovable, likable underdogs to, now they getting the front runner thing. People don't like success, and then
The
the
more, yeah,
Warriors
you
they
don't
gonna
like
tell you about yourself. They gonna talk stuff, and that's
Yeah.
what comes with it. You
facts.
better win because when you lose, that's why they get so much slander and memes when they lose. But when they win, it's coming back because they are going to talk and they're gonna let you know. But overall, and they talk about championship DNA, they talk about culture, and that's what that was yesterday. Yesterday was a culture win. Everyone contributed to that win and had an impact.
And the one guy that we cannot leave out, man, I saved him for last. Well, nope, Jordan Poole. I'm glad that he.
But that's why I'm gonna go
Go
to it,
ahead.
and then we're gonna go
Yeah.
to Wiggins. Everyone did their job. Starts with Steph. He didn't have a good game, but the gravity he has on the court, the attention he gets from defenses, 16 points, 8 assists, 1 turnover. That's telling to me because he can throw the ball away. But the fact that the shot wasn't falling, but he still allowed the game to come to him. Jordan Poole, I've been saying he had to step up, but I think he had 14 or 16 last night. Might
Yeah.
have been 18, but
Timely shots.
timely
though.
shots. And this
I've been saying,
finals,
man.
his minutes has went down. He's only averaging 12 points, but he's only playing 21 minutes. And Clay, he's getting better as this series progress. We mentioned Draymond, Gary, GP2.
Clay played great defense last night.
Man, the defense was phenomenal, all across the board. GP2, and I can't forget Looney in his rebounding. But the star of stars, the diaper dandy.
Oh man, the super scintillating sensation.
We cannot forget or overstate what Andrew Wiggins did last night, has done this playoffs, and has done this whole finals.
Man, cannot.
It was just beautiful to watch. And me, man, I love watching feel good stories. I love watching comeback stories. I like watching people rise and overcome. And to be a considered underachiever,
Yeah.
number 1 draft pick, Minnesota.
The reason why Minnesota didn't work.
Minnesota traded you.
Yeah.
People thought that, Nick Wright keep getting slandered for his and this let me know people don't watch basketball.
LeBron didn't want you.
But it was a win.
I know.
But I get it. People say the stupid
About all
stuff.
of that.
People say the stupid stuff, but it's like, people just thought like, oh man, he does nothing for me and all this. And he kind of reminded me of he kind of got that Ben Simmons label too, as all that talent, but they don't work hard. They're not aggressive. And what you see what basketball is all about, and we may say it with Simmons in Brooklyn, some guys just have to be in their role. Everyone is not supposed to be a number 1, or even a number 2.
Hey,
Like
Jay-Z said, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. That man in his last 2 games is averaging 21 and 15.
Yeah.
Straight up.
But it's what he's
straight up.
But it's all he has to do.
Yeah.
He just he doesn't have to do anything but go out, defend, and you get to play 1-on-1. And you're going to get the easiest shots, and you're going to get better looks because of who you play with. But also, what I liked about him is he went 0 for 6 from 3, but he was aggressive.
But
he kept applying pressure. He kept driving at him. And this is just the last thing, and I'm definitely turning it over to you. Everyone kept talking about that athletic advantage that Boston has over Golden State. But I can guarantee you no one is athletic on that team as Andrew Wiggins.
No.
They're showing where he's taking off from. Some of those drives and when he's attacking, he's jumping from a foot within the free throw line and finishing at the rim.
It's bouncy.
It's like when they do it, not to get too technical, but when Steph is doubled and they're throwing it to him, Boston bigs can't even react because, one, he's quick as hell, but he's jumping from the free throw line. They don't even get to get up and get in the air and contest his shots.
It's just giving me real it's giving me real bounce back vibes. Like just talking about this guy. Um, Even when he was at Kansas,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of had to.
I
He
was a
was
Jabari Parker guy, and what it was is at Kansas. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off
yeah,
because it was a game Jabari Parker had 30,
yeah,
and I'm
and it
like,
was a
man, Jabari put
smooth.
it all
It
together.
was a smooth 30.
And it was a game Wiggins had 42. And I was
It was like,
like he had 12.
yeah,
So
yeah.
when he was the number one pick, I was
But he was
like,
it was
yeah,
shaky. Even people
yeah,
wasn't really believing in him then.
yeah.
Like I said, like LeBron was like, "Hey, look, man, I can win now," and we understand that's a business decision. Shout out to LeBron for having the Billy. We gonna definitely shout him out on that. But uh, go to Minnesota. That didn't work. But just bouncing back, man. Like in life, you're gonna have to bounce back, and you're gonna just have to keep trying to really work that shit out. And you can really see like he's a very determined
Yeah.
individual. You know, he moves at his own pace. He's not, regardless of what people have been saying about him, it hasn't made him negative. He's kept working,
But what's
and
funny
it's
too, man,
working for
is
him,
what's funny is you look at him, it's just like he's like a damn like hired hitman.
man.
Cause he just goes out and just plays.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? Like I think it was one time in Kansas when they played Jabari and he hit like a turnaround clutch jumper, and I saw a lot of emotion. But when I seen him in the NBA, he hasn't had like a lot of emotion. He just goes out
he's a
and hoop.
mercenary.
Yeah, he's
He's a
just
true
going out and
true
hooping.
marksman.
And what it shows me is last year they needed him to be Steph's number two,
Mm.
and he really couldn't do that. But if you look at every day, every game, he was just always 18, 18, 20,
18,
21, 18. We not going to get 30. We not going to get 12. It's just 18,
18.
18, 18. And so now that he slid to the third, fourth option role, now that 18 stands out because I'm going to still get 18. I'm going to
And
still get 20.
and it's
And now I got the potential to get 26 a couple of games.
so like
And that's the difference.
he was having a rough time as the number two, but he's dominating
As a
as
number
the
three.
number three. Like if you look at their number three and you look at our number three right now, and
Yeah.
but if you look at Golden State's number three, he's knocking it out the park for them.
Because no matter who's playing bad, and it's been like this whole playoff run. I think he's averaging 17 or 18 points. He's pretty much been there, and he's been consistent with his numbers, like
Yeah.
17 points, 45% from the field. But the most important thing we haven't even mentioned is his defense.
And I'm glad you brought that up because we have to segue into this main point before we move on. All of these skills academies,
Yeah.
all of the like basketball has grown tremendously. It has
Mhm.
evolved as far as the moves. If you look at the like when we were in high school, if you had one move in a counter, you could go all state. You could.
And I'm a defender of this era, and I know the point you about to make, but man, last night I
Like
was disappointed.
all Golden State did was said, "Hey, none of these guys can go left," and they made Marcus Smart, they made Jason Tatum, and Jalen Brown. I
Man.
understand why he. I understand Jalen Brown, who Jalen Brown is after that game last night.
Yep.
I'm gonna let you take this off, but man, all of these moves that we have, all of these savants that we have, and these guys can't go left.
Man, you look at it, and that's why I say it's disappointing because I'm like, wait, I'm watching the NBA Finals, and I kind of saw it game three because Marcus Smart had like a run where he had scored like 8 straight or something. It was either that or it was game three or game four, and I'm like, he's only going right,
Yeah,
and then I'm watching Jalen Brown like he's only going right, and now Tatum's good, but Tatum is like, okay, if he drives right, he's going to finish at the rim. If he's going left, he's only going to shoot his pull up or
and it's gonna
his
be very
or a
soft.
step
It's
to the
gonna be a
side.
soft
Yeah,
step away or fade away.
but like it was really like it was just glaring when
Man,
they had success. It's because Golden State wasn't cutting off the right hand, and when they shut them down because they only had 94 points. I think the past 2 games they haven't cracked 100,
man.
and it's because these guys cannot finish with their left hand.
And then
Not can they only finish with their left hand. They only dribble 3 times and they begging to get to their right. So that's why you're seeing the poor shot selection, because if they can't get right, it's like, all right, I dribble, I gotta shoot. Now I'm stepping back, fading, shooting some bullshit.
Because I brought that up because we were talking about it last night, and I'm like, what coaching adjustment can he make for that? What coaching adjustment can you make for that? Because if we could be honest, this series 3-2, this game they were up in the third quarter. They had made 8 3-pointers in a row. Boston's coach is coaching his ass off.
Oh, he's
He
pulling all
is
the.
coaching his ass
That's why I
off.
challenged you, and I was talking about Marcus Smart. You was like, well, he the second best point guard they had since Rondo. I'm like, that's not good. What I'm just talking about that is, I'm like, what has he done? Because like Marcus
Right.
Smart plays his role well. He's a combo guard. He plays great defense, and whatever he gives you on offense is a plus. But you need a point guard. Look, as bad as Steph played last night, he still was hitting guys in pocket, moving the ball around. His passing is very underrated.
Yeah.
And then, of course, everyone's scared of his shooting, so it's going to provide him more windows. But Smart had a pass in a post where it looked good. Like you see flashes of it. You see flashes of his good passing.
Right.
But Marcus Smart not going to just come down, settle you, say, all right, man, fuck this Tatum. You go to the elbow. I'm going to give you a good entry pass. You catch it and just rip through and go. They can't do any of that. Everything is I start from the perimeter and I want to drive and kick. You are playing some of the top athletes in the world.
Yeah.
You can't just keep giving them the same look. That's why Golden State was like, all right, the pick and roll not working today. All I'm gonna do is pass it, and now we about to exploit it in the middle. It's a chess match.
Yeah.
It's not the regular season where, all right, y'all niggas up by 15, on to the next game because we got to play tomorrow. No, you got to grind this out and win it.
He did a great job also because what I like to do is talk about the pros and cons of both of the teams.
Yeah, Ime's a hell of a coach,
But
man.
he did a great job. I want to say the third or the fourth quarter, he took Marcus Smart off of Steph Curry.
No, I think it was like the beginning. I think it was the strategy the whole game because Steph couldn't get off. But no, go into the strategy.
But he took Marcus off of Steph and kind of let him float.
Yeah.
But I'll let you, you're the coach. I'm gonna let you more so go more into it. But just what I saw, I thought that it was weird, and it was kind of
He
like,
put Tatum on Steph.
and Steph had an issue with Tatum's length.
Because the thing is, with Steph, as good as he is, they broke down the stat for game 4. And I'm sorry, this podcast today is going to be for basketball fans. We'll get to y'all, everyone else. My guys that like it, I just want to talk basketball. Steph, as good as he is,
Yeah.
12 of those shots were contested that he made. And
When he hit 43?
yeah.
Yeah.
So he has a quick enough release that he can get his shot off, especially if you have Marcus Smart checking you, who's about the same size as you, and then you have Al Horford who's jumping up, playing job coverage. So the moment, because they don't want to get that 3-on-4 fast break, so now they're moving Horford and Williams back, and then, but the thing with Steph is he's good enough that once they move back just 1 second or 1 inch, he can get his shot off.
Man.
If you look at the difference in last night, how many times did he have to reload or couldn't get his shot off? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it was the length. So what was the adjustment the Warriors made? All right, we can't get the drop. The adjustment is Steph can't just go nuclear and shoot like he want to. We're gonna move it around, and we about to go back to you idiots who now talking about Iguodala was the MVP and Wiggins is the MVP. Steph leads the league in hockey assists, meaning I get all the attention. If I'm doubled, I'm blitzed, I pass it to Draymond, who then is going to drop it to someone in the middle who's going to hit a floater. You're going to say Draymond got the assist and Wiggins finished.
There was some lovely floaters last night, too.
Yes, they just start exploiting the middle.
Right at they was, man.
Look, people talk about the Warriors. They didn't go crazy from 3.
Nope.
But they're not like Boston doing. Boston is living and dying by the 3. I miss my first 12, hit my next 8, go up. Then I go cold in the 4th. The Warriors were like 7 for 30 at one point from 3, but they still get layups and they shoot the mid range and they shoot the floater game. And that's what they did. Ime, I didn't think he had another card left because pretty much how he's guarded all superstars is what he did the whole postseason. Kevin Durant struggled with the drop coverage when all he should have did was just shoot. But that's not in his DNA.
Yeah.
Durant doesn't really want to shoot 25 to 30 times a game. He
Right.
wants to get an efficient 20 shots off and get 30 consistently. That's just the way his mindset is made up. And then Kyrie, you have guys on you like Jaylen Brown. They can switch Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't dribble 30 times over you and then can consistently score
Not at
and get my
6'3".
teammates involved.
Not at 6'3". It's gonna be tough.
So then you look at the next round they play Giannis. We just gonna build a wall. I averaged 35, but I shot 45%. Jimmy Butler went crazy. He had about 40 points in 3 of the games, had 2 bad games, but they kept playing the same drop coverage.
It's
They
not
didn't
working.
against Steph. So Steph is just like, pretty much they're like, your team is not going to beat us. Your superstar has to. And Steph was doing that. But he threw that last wrinkle. He said, I'm going to do the drop coverage, but I'm going to let my best defender, defensive player of the year roam. And that was able to close those lanes that Steph had.
Yeah.
So I didn't think he had another adjustment left 5 games into the series, but he did.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking to see now you saw how the Warriors countered it. 1, can the Warriors players game travel? And then 2, is Steph going to have another bad game? I think that's the difference between you closing them out in game 6. Boston, your others have to step up in game 6 at home. We haven't seen Grant Williams. We haven't seen Horford and Derek. Well, Derek White been playing consistently. He was terrible yesterday, but we haven't seen Horford since maybe game 1 and game 3.
So with that being said, man, so we can wrap this up. Game 6. Your boys won 2 games in a row. We got the card that we haven't played yet, which is GOAT Game 6 Clay.
Yeah.
Even though, Clay didn't have a real good game last night. He just had a man's game. He just played through it. But
I think he was like 5 for 9 from 3.
Yeah, but
And he played great defensively.
He did.
I think that's what it was because I'm not
going to block.
lie.
There was a block.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a foul that they called, but it was just like I took it because, man, if it would have been like 2 years ago, he would have threw that shit in the stands. But I know that he's still coming back. I know that he's still getting back to full form. But you're starting to see the shades defensively.
What I like about this Warriors team, and I'm a fan, their confidence never wavers.
Yeah.
They were down by 55 to Memphis and lost by 40 to them or whatever.
55. And the world was like, there's no way that they could win it.
They asked Draymond, they said, what was y'all mood on the way back home? He said, man, that was one of the best flights we had back home. He said, we was just so calm and didn't care. We knew we was about to close them out at home. He said, because that's just the confidence we had.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying that's the makeup of the team. And what I'm saying is, while I like Jordan Poole, his minutes get cut. Draymond, you get benched in game 3. Clay, you're playing like shit.
We trying to win, dog.
Their confidence never wavers. And even with Steph, he went 0 for 9. But when you shoot, this is how scared they are. They still think all those shots going in. And at 6'3", 6'4", he's getting so much attention. They like, man, we don't even want to see the ball go through the net. Drop it off the Looney. Drop it off the Draymond.
Man.
So I just think what's happening in game 6, I think this team is really seizing the moment. They can feel it. They know what they've been through the past 3 years. I think they want it so bad. And then 2, they're not afraid of any scenario. This is a team that's been blew out. This is a team that's came from 20. So whether they lose or whether they get down, I don't see them getting down 15 in the first quarter and like, fuck it.
Yeah.
They'd be like, we have a type of offense and we have some of the best shooting in the world that we can go on an 8-0 run in 30 seconds. And the thing with Boston, what I'm not seeing, they don't have that composure. Their best players are 24 and 25.
Yeah.
So when they're getting down, not getting foul calls, you don't see no one like, let's settle down. We got it. You saw Horford trying to settle down Marcus Smart when he was going crazy. But what they going to say? They're going to be like, man, fuck you, nigga, I'm better than you.
Yeah. But like you said.
Your best player that's what I'm saying. The best player has to be the one. Teams take on the DNA and they take on the mindset of their best players. And Boston, you're seeing a lot of bitching when they're not getting the layups.
Yep.
Steph is falling and looking back at
'Cause
you
they've
like
been-
these guys are like,
But they've
"You
been
ain't
there
call it?"
before.
They've been there.
Been there before.
They've been there. And Boston may be back, but I really think they closed them out in 6.
Yep.
And shit, I want to get it over with. But
Get
it's
some of
been
that,
fun to
get
watch.
some of that champagne going in Boston
Oh
for them.
man, yeah. Let's do what Cleveland did to us. Let's celebrate in their locker room, man.
Yeah, man. So just wanted to do a quick game 5 recap. Wanted to get back with the people. We're gonna get
Yes,
this
sir.
to y'all, man. Life and Times. I'm Hendrix. I got my boy Troy always next to me, man. We're gonna ride out to something, man. We'll ride out to something decent, man. But just glad to be back with y'all.
Yes.
Life and Times. We out of here, man.
No mics. Hell of a show.
Yeah.
Who knew we take it this far? Just a kid from Inkster, man. And we still got so much further to go. You don't know what I mean to the city. Inkster to me is what New York is to Diddy. Trailblazer, all my people out in Portland should